Hello, my dear friends. I hope you're well. It's nice to be with you again. As Rabbi Kalmus always shares, anytime someone gives over a piece of Torah from Rabbi Nachman, all kinds of technical difficulties befall them. And I want you to know that this is now my fourth take to try to give this over. And I'm hoping, like fine wine, it only gets better with age rather than worse. As some of you know, our friends at the Lighthouse Project hosted Rav Shalom Arush, Shlita from Eretz Yisrael in the last couple of days. And he, as you know, has written some beautiful Sfarim, the garden books, and others concerning Emunah. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. This time of year, I notice that I start to get very restless. When the seasons change, I start to feel down. I start to feel lonely. I start to feel hopeless. And I don't think there's any coincidence for that. And the reason that we know this is basically from the principles of Emunah alone. And those are what I want to share with you. Number one, Emunah is knowing that every single thing that we go through, from the largest experience to the tiniest detail that we see, is orchestrated by Hashem. There is nothing we go through in life that isn't orchestrated by Hashem. Number two, everything that Hashem does is for our ultimate good. Now, this is a troubling one because a lot of us go through life with disappointments, with loss, with sadness, with pain. And we ultimately need to know that we don't understand the big picture, that we don't have all the answers, but that we need to believe and to know that everything that Hashem does is for our ultimate good, even if we don't see it at the time. Third level of Emunah, on a grander scale, outside of ourselves, everything that Hashem does is for the greater good, has an ultimate purpose. There's a famous story of a man who passes away and goes to Shemayim. And he says to Hashem, Hashem, I've never questioned you in my life, but I'd like to know now that I'm here, why did such and such happen? And why couldn't things have been different? So Hashem chuckles and says, I would love to tell you how things could have been different for you and how I wish I could have changed them for you. But if I would have changed things for you, I would have to take you back to Bereshis bara Elokim, to in the beginning Hashem created. Because if I would have changed even one tiny detail, a tiny blade of grass growing in a different direction or blowing in a different direction, then the entire world would cease to be what it is right now. It's very easy for us to pontificate the ways and reasons for things, particularly when it comes to Hashem. And I think a lot of us feel very helpless when it comes to Hashem. Our experience is often difficult. It's funny how we wake up one morning and we're happy, and moments later, we're not. It's the pendulum of this world. That's the challenge of this world. What I think it tells us, and Rav Arush shared this, if you watch the video, is that we truly are connected to one another. Rav Arush mentioned the tragedy in Meron, and he said that he davened at the caver of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. He felt in his heart that one of the reasons that this tragedy happened, according to him, was that we continue to struggle with baseless hatred, with sinas chinam, which ultimately, as we know, was the reason that the Bayis Sheni, the second temple, was destroyed. What that reminded me of is how connected we are to each other. That even our moods and our experiences are not ultimately ours. We know that we're ultimately connected and that we're responsible for one another. We know that each of us have a piece in the world to come, but that also means that we have a responsibility for each other in this world. And so I'm going to challenge you to take some time and think about ways that you can reach out to your fellow Jew and even your fellow non-Jew, to humanity, how you can make greater room for them, how you can spend time helping someone else. Because I promise you, when you make time for someone else, Hashem will make even more time for you. Take this time when it's difficult, when the seasons are changing for those of us that experience different seasons. Take some time to take some responsibility for someone else, to love someone a little harder, to care for someone a little bit more, to appreciate someone a little bit more. And I guarantee you, as Rabbi Arish says, that when we look outside of ourselves, Hashem is going to shovel more and more bracha and hatzlacha our way and send us ultimate blessing and kindness. Have a wonderful day.